Hello, everybody. It is 10:10 p.m. on the East Coast, and it is Friday. Hope everybody had a good week. We have a interesting docket ahead of us tonight. Got some stuff for us to discuss, to get into. Interesting. Still getting set up here. Still got a little bit to do. I'm not sure where to start. Oh boy. There's been a lot of annoying discourse this week for sure, but I'm gonna start with some actually perhaps important stuff. Let's start with the actual news. The news, if you will. I mean, there's really not much news other than Iran, right? Like that's kind of what's happening in the world. Everything else is everything else is pretty soft stuff. Don't know how much it matters. We do have old Pete here. Hold on. The Secretary of War. Not Defense, the Secretary of War. Because, you know, why the fuck not? I guess he got mad at the Europeans.
War in Iran. President Trump is sending his envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, to Pakistan to meet Iran's foreign minister. The goal here is to revive ceasefire talks. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the two would meet with the Iranian foreign minister tomorrow. She also said Vice President J.D. Vance, as well as Secretary of State Mark Rubio, and the president's national security team will fly to Pakistan if necessary. Today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth criticized European allies for not helping the U.S. effort enough.
They need the Strait of Hormuz much more than we do, and might want to start doing less talking and having less fancy conferences in Europe and get in a boat.
The European Union, which does not produce nearly as much oil as the U.S., unveiled emergency measures this week as soaring energy costs pressure the bloc's economy. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed for shipping during the U.S.-Iran standoff.
Yeah, so not a whole lot as far as updates, as far as information outside of just the situation seems to have in my opinion it seems to have sort of stagnated, stalled. Obviously shit's happening, but they keep going back and forth and nothing really seems to be coming of it. There's incremental movement. Trump obviously does not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, which has never been a thing. That's not like a thing. But I it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. All right, well, on top of that, on top of that, there's also the like there is also the redistricting drama, but I don't have much to say about that other than the Democrats finally did something. Yay. People are obviously mad about um they're like, "Oh, gerrymandering's bad," but like listen, if you're fucking for my entire life, the Republicans the Republicans and the Democrats have been sitting down to play a game of chess. But the Republicans play as though they're playing checkers. And the Democrats, instead of adapting and playing checkers, continue to play chess. And it comes as no surprise that the Democrats continue to lose while trying to force the game of chess. So I'm glad that they decided to play checkers for once. Other than that, I'm gonna have us get into some other things. Just a quick little update on the news situation. Just a quick little update on the news situation. Oh, Benjamin Netanyahu had cancer. Didn't take though. Like, I mean, listen, cancer. You've taken out some greats. You've taken out some greats in my time. You've taken out people close to me. You've taken out people not close to me, but who are still pretty dope. And the one time, actually, honestly, the two times, because Biden's still kicking. Biden is still up and kicking. So, respectfully, the two times that you had to come in and do your job, do your the one thing you do, which is kill people, remove people from this earthly coil, You failed to come through. I gotta be honest, I'm a little disappointed. I'm not above saying that. Not especially when you consider how just devastating the healthcare system is in Gaza and how impossible it is to get decent healthcare. And the reason for that is obviously because their system has been fucking destroyed, annihilated, bombed to smithereens. So I have no real qualms about that, but I do think it's pretty unfortunate that didn't do the one time. The one time you had to do your job, failed. It's pretty on par, but just damn. Damn. All right. Well, maybe next time. We'll get them next time, boys. Get ready for round 2. Maybe the cancer will come back. You never know. All right. Let's get into some other shit. Let's get into some other shit. Oh man, my fucking For You page is a fucking mess. Like I really do hate I do hate Twitter, man. It's just such a catastrophe at this point. All right. ContraPoints did an interview. I'm not going to watch it because it's long and I suspect it's boring. I've seen some clips from it. Maybe we'll take a look at some of those clips in a little bit. But ooh, I didn't really feel inclined to watch it. So, she's continued her little mess, so to speak. Really think that it's time to let it go. Really think it's time to drop it, but she's not going to. She's not going to. And that's, that's whatever. Fine. Okay. All right. Um hmm. All right. Goddamn. Where do I want to fucking start here? What do I want to do? There's I really need to get better at like planning out these fucking streams, man. I say that and then I won't. Don't expect me to actually get better. I'm kidding. Maybe someday. I got okay. So what has been going on with this J.K. Rowling shit? Because I see there's this post going around that she supposedly made, but let's actually real quick take a look at her account because it has been a minute. It has been a minute since I have checked in on J.K. Rowling. So what is she doing? What happened? What the fuck happened? She said some shit that got people riled up. Actually, not gonna go to her account. I'm just gonna search J.K. Rowling. Actually, see what the people are saying first, and then we'll take a look at her account. Um. Okay, so here's the actual post. Because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck she's saying here, and maybe that's a mistake. Maybe attempting to make sense of the mind of a transphobe is a mistake, because I don't know exactly what all of this is. Okay, so it looks like we start with this post here where she's like, so someone posted something saying, so someone said, so you think people should discuss only their own rights, yet you don't believe all people, trans women, fans of Pride, should have the right to decide their own rights. Curious. So then J.K. Rowling said, no, I don't think all people should have the right to decide their own rights, because a pluralistic democratic society can't function that way. Which which rights are trans women and fans of Pride missing? Oh god, here we go. Okay. Their right to simply exist is being threatened, and you are the head cheerleader. You are a despicable human being. She's not only the head cheerleader, she personally funds this shit. So if you're a J.K. Rowling fan and you have not stopped purchasing Harry Potter merch or Harry Potter, paraphernalia from the official sources, you're directly supporting J.K. Rowling, and she directly uses that money to directly combat trans rights in the UK specifically. Could you define exist for me in this context? Trans people exist, trans women are women. When you tell them which bathroom to use, not based on the reality of their gender, but on the checkbox on their birth certificate, you deny their existence. Your version is they exist, and that is the path to annihilation. Oh, fucking hell, dude. Oh, I hate when people like this. I hate when annoying people do these goddamn effort posts. Like, fucking hell. I get you're a writer, but like, make it quick, man. I don't have time for this. Ugh. Like, I don't want to read this much, what is bound to be like paragraphs of transphobia, dog. Alright. Alright. Nope, here we go. No, it's fine. Yes, the people who call themselves trans exist, and they deserve exactly the same rights as everyone else, which, fortunately, they already have in the UK. It would rightly be considered discrimination if a person was refused employment, housing, or the vote because they identified as trans. Trans women are women is a thought-terminating cliche. Men are not women. Oh, here we go. Okay, trans women are not men, so where do we go from here? That doesn't mean they're not allowed to present themselves however they like, call themselves whatever they like, and believe whatever they like, but believe whatever they like about themselves. It means they haven't changed sex. If we replace the objective, observable characteristics of sex with the unfalsifiable concept of gender identity. Oh my god. Sometimes you have to spend a lot of time thinking about this shit to get to this point, man. And I'm not trans, but I do have trans friends, and I don't think that they've ever spent this amount of time thinking about this shit, even though they are trans. Like, the average trans person is not getting this deep into, like, theory, like gender theory and like ideology and shit, like they're just not. Oh my god. um Holy fuck, where was I? Like, she just zapped my brain there. If we replace the objective, observable characteristic of sex with the unfalsifiable concept of gender identity, she said identify actually. She said of gender identify. Professional writer, everybody. Women and girls lose. Among other things, their right to fair and safe sport and women only spaces, including changing rooms, prison cells, and rape crisis services. Okay. Okay. Women and girls are provably more vulnerable to forms of abuse, including sexual assault, harassment, and voyeurism in mixed sex spaces. There is no evidence that trans-identified men don't have exactly the same rates of criminal offending as all other men. Is there evidence that they do? Is there evidence that they do? You say there's no evidence that they don't, but is there evidence that they do? And I'm not even necessarily convinced that there isn't evidence that they don't. Like I imagine that these are things that probably haven't been studied at length, but if we were to dedicate some resources to studying these things, I suspect we might see a perhaps difference here, but I could be wrong. That is 100% my theory on the matter, I guess. And I'm no expert, so take it with a grain of salt. But ugh. Trans people exist. I have no desire for them to not exist. I don't believe you. Indeed, I wish them safety, happiness, and health. I don't believe you. However, existence does not and should not mean the violation of other people's rights to privacy, dignity, and freedom of speech, or the reconfiguration of society to indulge a fallacy. Okay. Here's my issue, I guess, when it comes to this whole fucking topic. Either trans, okay, and like we'll use trans women specifically for this example, I guess. But either trans women are women, or you view them as men, or you view them as some third class to which you now have to determine the rights of that third class. So I do find this like attempt to like categorize them to be very fucking ridiculous because it always ignores the fact that if you are going to separate them into some mysterious third class, then you have to determine the rights of that class. And if you are going to say that they have fewer rights than you and me, then you are now arguing that trans women or trans people in general are of a lesser class. And I think that's some, I don't know, dangerous territory to get into. I think you're really pushing the envelope there. Looking, it's getting a little rough, a little nasty. Maybe you shouldn't do that. Why is it that you used to feel trans women were women? In your article in 2020, you referred to your transsexual friend as she and said you found it hard to think of her as anything other than a woman. Is that no longer the case? Nothing's changed. I was being honest about how I feel about an individual trans woman I know who was a gay man pre transition and who I met for the first time post transition. Objectively speaking, she has physical characteristics. Objectively speaking, she has physical characteristics. Oh my god, I can't speak all of a sudden. Objectively speaking, she has physical characteristics that make it fairly obvious she wasn't born female, but she's a gentle, funny person I've never referred to as anything other than she and her. I find it perfectly easy to reconcile my fond feelings towards her and my experience of her as someone with very female coded energy, with a belief that she hasn't literally changed sex, and incidentally, she doesn't believe she's literally changed sex either. Okay, a lot to unpack there. Okay, now that I have the actual like context for this tweet, because I saw it earlier and I was like, okay, interesting. I'm not sure exactly what she's saying here, but I would like to see the full context. And now that I have the full context, I still think this is a bad tweet. um, like people are kind of being like, "Oh, she's like it's like I mean, like people are kind of like framing it as her like people are kind of framing it as her almost coming around a little bit, and I would not say that's the case at all. And I also think she has some very interesting she kind of she kind of tells on herself a little bit here because she will really push herself as this big feminist icon, right? Who cares so much about women and empowering women. And yet she definitely has a tendency to ascribe womanhood with certain traits and like softness and like it's fairly obvious she wasn't born female, but she's a gentle, funny person. Like it's just very like the highlighting of her being a gentle person is very like okay. And the fact that she actually seems to view this person as a woman, or at least as close to a woman as she can. Um and she uses she and her pronouns for her. It's it's just very like and like female coded energy. Like I just there are women who don't, have like present traditionally feminine, and it's like so are those women less like are they less of a woman to her? Like if someone has more masculine traits, quote unquote, are they not a woman in her eyes? Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because she's very, transphobic. So I don't know. I hate J.K. Rowling so much. Oh man. If you began referring to your friend as he, do you think she might still feel that you see her as a woman? And if when you're out in public you insisted she use the men's toilets, would that make her feel that you still view her as a woman? I can't tell you what another person would feel in a hypothetical circumstances. She's copping out. That's a cop out. That's a cop out. Maybe ask her. For real though. Um so this it feels like you're saying that it is only acceptable for some people to be trans if they fit a certain idea of what trans should look like. Like if someone doesn't match your expectations of how their gender should present, then their identity is less valid. Yeah, yeah. If you've read what I've just written, you'd understand that the trans woman in question shows obvious physical signs of not having been born female because, I literally said that. I don't believe there's a such thing as gender in the way trans activists use it, i.e., as an inner male or female essence that is independent of the sexed body. So it's a matter of total indifference to me that an individual trans person looks like how or well they pass. They're free to identify however they like, whatever they like. The clash of rights starts when they demand my compelled speech and that the law, and the whole of society agrees they're a member of the opposite sex. Like, I just, ugh. And then it's like the leopards are eating your face moment, babe. Gentle and funny do not trump biology, and if he doesn't believe he changed sex, then the female pronoun is a misgender. It is not unkind to deal in reality and be fond of someone. Female coded energy notwithstanding. Nobody, gender activist or gender critical, has the right to dictate how I refer to anyone. You appear to have missed everything I've said about freedom of speech. Babe, they're eating your face. They're eating your face. I was simply exercising my freedom of speech. You, without anyone's permission, can and do refer to anyone exactly as you wish. I have the right in this case, the need to express the thoughts that followed several alarms going off. I sensed the thin edge of a wedge. With respect, you are absolutely trying to police my language by telling me you sensed the thin edge of a wedge. I have no truck with the policing of my language. Whatever side it comes from, you do you, and I will continue to do me. This is what happens when you align yourself with the worst people on fucking earth. I give it like they will be coming after you eventually. Like it's gonna happen. Um let's see what the quotes have to say. Yeah, awesome people. God, fucking also the worst motherfucking people who happen to have blue checks so they can write goddamn paragraphs of just hate. Oh my god. Ay, 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 ay. With all due respect, how is referring to a male as female coded not trans trans rights activist speech? Oh my god. Oh man. Like if I ever found myself in the company of these people, amongst these enlightened individuals, I would beg you to take me out back and shoot me. I would beg you to end my life because this is awful. I don't want to be here. Oh man. The fact of the matter is, if you're anti-trans, you're just kind of a depressing person. I assume you know very little. You know probably nothing. And if you're willing to learn, that's great. Be open-minded, you know? And, just be a fucking normal person about it. But transphobes spend more time thinking about trans people than trans people do. And it's just it's kind of incredible. And I hear more like random weird like hyper specific trans things from transphobes than I do from like actual trans people. Like they're like tapped in. Oh my god, J.K. Rowling has gone woke. I love it. Oh fuck me, dude. These fucking guys. All right. Yeah, I don't know, just be normal. I don't know, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. It's transphobia. It's just it's hatred. Like it's stupidity, but you just I just can't imagine caring this much about somebody else's personal, like, business like that, and it doesn't hurt me at the end of the day if somebody wants me to use different pronouns for them or a different name, and in fact, it's, like, I don't think it's, like, a weird thing at all. I mean, it's just, it's incredible to me that there are people who care this much about this, because I do think there's something deeply wrong. Um, and trying to act like this comes down to protecting women or caring about, like, women feeling safe. It's not like you just hate trans women. You just hate trans women. You just hate trans people because you hate because you're stupid. You're ignorant and you're stupid and you're full of hate. Like, that's just it. Just be honest about that. Just be honest about that. Don't try and hide it behind, "Oh, we wanna protect women's spaces." Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a flying fuck, okay? I just this idea that trans women are automatically predators who will attack you and do whatever is like, okay, you're just you're just writing fan fiction now, and I don't I don't it's kinda crazy to ascribe that to an entire group of people, man. Like, I just hmm. And then you hide it behind the idea that they're men, and you think that men are like that as well. And I think it's obviously there is a long conversation to be had about uh these sort of about just I mean just abusive environments, just the general sort of history when it comes to um like the abuse and harm that women experience at the hands of men. Like, this is a valid conversation to be had, but I I think that trying to have this conversation in conjunction with like trans people, it's just you're being ridiculous because you only ever focus on trans women. This conversation never actually branches out beyond that, which I think is particularly telling. Um it's just like you just show your hand all the fucking time. There's no real actual concern here about women's safety or protecting women. It's about hurting trans people, and that's ridiculous. Like, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. Grown ass woman. Grown ass woman with millions of dollars and the ability to do literally anything with her fucking life, and she spends her time on Twitter arguing about trans people. Like, if I like, that's a level of pathetic that you can't even make up. That's crazy. Okay. Alrighty, righty, righty. Now, um, oh, let's do this. Yeah, okay. Well, where do I want to start with this? Jillian Michaels, our dear, dear, dear old friend, Jillian Michaels. She's been on one, bro. Like, if you don't know, if there's one thing to know about Jillian Michaels, it's that she's a huge Islamophobe. Like, the kind of person who I think is genuinely fearful of Muslims. Like, I don't even think it's like a hate slash like hate. I don't even think I'm not even sure it's like a hatred thing. I think she is genuinely fearful of them. Um which is insane. It just says a lot about her in general. And we're going to take a look at some of the shit that she had to say from one of her recent podcasts because I guess she was talking to Steven Crowder, she talked to Matt Walsh recently, and she just has had a lot to say. And I love it. I love it because I think Jillian is very funny. I think she's a mess, but very, very, very funny. So, for starters, and she does seem to have this fixation on Hassan. Like she jumped in on the Hassan discourse a little bit, which I can't help but think is pretty funny. Like I think she's done a podcast with Jank. Like I think she's done a podcast episode with Jank. So that is funny. But as you can see, meet Hassan Piker, the left's rabid attack dog. And then why is Hassan Piker untouchable? Oh man, no, we're gonna take a look at a couple of these. Michigan Democrats shocking Ayatollah silence. What is he hiding? She also had Andrew Wilson on. Like she's really just losing her mind right now. And I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. Because I mean, Jillian Michaels has said some crazy shit on various different, platforms. She's been on CNN. She said some shit about slavery on CNN, which was insane. I don't know if I can even find that clip. Maybe I'll try and find it later, but right now I just want to take a look at some of these. I want to take a look at where is it? Let's start with the rabbit attack dog. See what she this was 6 days ago. Yeah. So this is All right. Let's see what she's got.
All right, team. It is time.
Also, this old ass picture of Hassan too. Like I don't want to say that she did this on purpose, but like Islamophobes do this thing where they pick like the most they pick they pick very specific pictures to go with. And I feel like the long hair Hassan picture is it's like like maybe a little bit of like a subconscious pick because there are definitely newer pictures of him that she could have used that
to talk about,
but that's fine. We'll see what she's got to say.
Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker. Oh, where do we start? I think we start with the clip of Hassan Piker with the Vietnamese refugee team. Let's cue that up.
Because as Vietnamese refugee, we have endured suffering under the communist regime, and we believe that.
I think the reason I love Jillian is that she's so out of her depth. Like she does not know what the fuck is happening. Like she does not understand any of these topics. Like in order to understand what is about to happen in this clip and why Hassan is not just yelling at some random woman, you have to understand, you have to have at least somewhat of a grasp on Vietnam and the history of Vietnam and American history and like a little bit of a understanding of, you know, the Vietnam War. And I don't think Jillian has any of that. I don't think she has any of that. Look at her. Look at her face. She does not know what's happening. She's not like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, fuck you, dude. I mean, seriously, fuck you, old lady. Shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking idiotic old lady with your stupid fucking gamer headset. Who has fucked you harder, America or fucking Ho Chi Minh? Suck my dick, old lady. God damn, dude. Yo, fuck this refugee, okay? Seriously, fuck this South Vietnamese mother whatever, like Christian supremacist psychotic fucking refugee living in America now and able to talk that shit. Why don't you go back and live in South Vietnam in the same conditions, if that's your perspective?
Okay, so much to
Also, if we're being honest, all Hassan is doing is pulling the fucking shit that like conservatives love to pull when on people when they're like, oh, why don't you go back to your country if you're gonna criticize like America? Like at most it's like at most like that's what he's doing here. Like, oh, okay, that's crazy. He pulled a go back to your country on her. Conservatives do that all the time, Jillian. Do you do a video on them when they do that? Like, I don't think you do, babe. You're keeping it real, but are you? Okay, predictions. She's gonna complain about him swearing. You know, he's uncouth. He's got a potty mouth. Something about communism. And just blanket Islamophobia.
say about Hassan Piker, but I'd like to lead with this, actually. I just found this out the other day, which I thought was exceptionally telling. Dave Rubin enlightened me. Do you know that he is Cenk Uyghur's nephew? Do you guys know that?
Do you know that's like the
Yes, everybody knows that. Did she not know that? That's so funny. I feel like most people know that. I feel like if you know who Cenk is and you know who Hassan is, then you know that they're related. I feel like it's very rare for you to know who both of them are and not know that they are related. Like, I just feel like it's very rare to have come to the point where you know who Hassan is and you know who Cenk is. You have gathered enough information about these people to know who they are, but you have not encountered the fact that they are related. It's possible, but I do think that, especially if you're actually tapped into these spaces, I feel like Jillian should be, because this is her job. I think it just goes to show how uninterested in all of this Jillian actually is. Like, Jillian's doing this whole politics thing because she can't go back to fitness. She's done with The Biggest Loser. She can't go back to that shit. Nobody's gonna actually hire her as like a fitness coach at this point. She's probably way too expensive for that. Maybe some famous politicians or something. Maybe she can find some politicians on the right who will hire her. But ultimately, I think she's just sort of out of options as to what she can do with her career. So here she is.
only reason a door was open for him to assume his current position?
Which Hassan is recognized, so that's not even like a secret either. Like, yeah. Yes, he I mean I mean, you could also make the argument that Hassan could have obviously still just started streaming and made it to whatever point he was going to make it to. Did it working at the Young Turks and being able to gather a audience there and gather, support from people there definitely help. Yeah, for sure. I don't think that's anything anybody would debate. But it's funny that Jillian is saying that like that. It's funny that we're like doing this because, all right.
Well, I only know it because of Dave, but what I actually think is so scary is what a horrendous reflection it is on Cenk. There was a minute a couple years ago when Trump was elected and Cenk had wanted to work for Doge. I remember thinking that Cenk was reasonable. And of course, that has all subsequently changed. And
How is Hassan a reflection on Cenk, though? Like, Cenk didn't raise him. Like, Cenk didn't. There's not like. All right.
he and Anna Kasparian have like gone down the crazy rabbit hole. But this guy makes Nick Fuentes look like an altar boy. And I mean,
Ain't no way, bro. Huh? Makes Nick Fuentes look like an altar boy? Bruh. Wait. Okay. No, okay. Sure. No, okay. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I want to hear her out. I want to hear her out.
the comments that he has made with, Hamas and Israel have made me often think like, my God, they're the same person, right? This whole horseshoe theory of like crazy people on the far, far right, Nick Fuentes, crazy people on the far, far left, Hassan Piker, and they're the same person. Do you guys have a clip? Can you find me that clip where he says that he thinks Hamas is better than Israel? Can you find that?
When you say Hamas is 1,000 times better, do you actually mean that? Or is that a rhetorical move?
1,000
or
times
like a
better.
solidarity signal? Like what? I mean, it's all of the above. I do mean it. I think it's a rhetorical move because it frustrates
Solidarity
a lot of
with
people.
Hamas.
I've also said I'm a harm reduction voter. I'm a lesser evil voter, and therefore I would vote for Hamas over Israel every single time.
I'm a lesser evil voter. Oh.
I mean, no notes. He right. When he right, he right. What do you want me to say? Jillian, is Israel committing a genocide? I can already answer that for her. She's gonna say no. So your opinion is invalid. Opinion disregarded. Discarded. Sorry, Jillian.
Oh my goodness. That's a huge, by the way, mainstream podcast on the left. What is that? It's Pod Save America? What is that one?
Yes, Jillian, that was on Pod Saves America.
I was pretty freaked out about Nick Fuentes on the right being, I'm not going to say the word platformed. I don't believe in taking away people's platforms, obviously. Normalized is more the word that I'm looking for. Because Nick Fuentes would say the craziest things, the craziest, most racist, anti-Semitic, anti-female. He would glorify graping women, as Hassan Piker has. He says that he doesn't care if women were graped. Sorry,
I'm sorry, I can't take you fucking seriously when you're saying graped. And she's gonna say Hassan doesn't care that women were raped on October 7th. Bro, out of context clip is out of context. Like it's been explained 1,000 fucking times over at this point. He doesn't care if sexual assault happened. It doesn't change the dynamic for him. It doesn't change the fact that genocide is bad. Do you think that that is the thing that, makes it so that you should be allowed to commit a genocide? Like, I don't. I mean, I think it's pretty horrible and should be punished, but I don't think it's something that means, you know, you get to do a fucking genocide because it happened. I don't we can fucking hell. Like keep running this one back, I guess, bro.
Use that word on October 7th by Hamas. And I had wanted people not to deplatform Fuentes, but to say that is a reprehensible message, right? And to blow holes in his absurd arguments. Because Nick Fuentes is...
Also, by the way, still no credible evidence that sexual assaults happened on October 7th. Like, that's still not a thing that has been proven by anybody. In fact, quick side trip, quick field trip here, because I was just watching this fucking video. It's from Zateo. And we will not watch the whole thing.
Years later, to have a clear investigation,
17 minutes long,
a clear picture of what.
We can start with we'll start at the 2-minute mark here, around 2 minutes. But this is about did mass rape occur on October 7th? UN expert weighs the evidence. This is literally from a day ago. Claims of mass rape are being used over and over again in order to justify genocide against Palestinians. We are using really different standards with regards to violence against Palestinians on one hand and violence against Israelis. 2 years after the October 7th attacks, questions about mass rape and sexual violence remain unresolved. The UN says there are reasonable grounds to believe assaults happened, but could not verify them. So there you go. Like, it's fairly simple. Like, could it have happened? Yes. Is it even possibly likely that it did? In those situations, yes, that is a thing that usually happens. It is fairly, like, you could even lead in the likelihood that it did happen. But there has still been no evidence to prove that it happened. There have been no victims that have come forward who have, claimed that they have been assaulted, that they were assaulted. Like, there's been no actual actual tangible evidence. And this all, of course, ignores the fact that the Israelis use sexual violence as a fucking tool against the Palestinians. The IDF uses sexual violence against the Palestinians all the fucking time. Like, it is a fucking tool of their genocide. And of course, those incidences receive less attention. Their rapists are freed and allowed to return to polite society and even celebrated. So, Jillian. Jillian.
Just to be clear, where do you stand on this thorny issue?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Mahdi. So when I issued this tweet, in all fairness, I thought I was stating something that had become obvious, precisely because of the reports that you just mentioned. The Commission of Inquiry and Mrs. Patton had said that there were reasonable grounds to believe that sexual violence had taken place against Israelis on October 7th, but none of them were able to confirm that rape had happened. So to my mind, I thought we had moved beyond that conversation. Perhaps in hindsight, I would have not typed that tweet as hastily.
Also, the accusation is usually mass rape, not just rape. Like, I want to make that clear. Not that it's like one is bad, like not that it's like it makes a huge difference, but I do think it is important to remember that the accusation is usually mass rape, and that is something that if it had occurred, you would have there would be more evidence for it. Like, I'm not saying it would be necessarily significantly easier to prove, but there would be more instances of it occurring. You would have more opportunities for people to come forward and to prove it. Um, it's just like it's just like such a frustrating thing that is still happening years like into this genocide, and knowing what the Palestinians have undergone and what they have experienced. It's just like, can we be serious? Can we be fucking serious? If you actually care about this, then you should be addressing both sides of this. It should not be a one-way street. But we all know that you don't actually care. You're not actually genuine when you raise this issue or when you raise this topic, or when someone like Jillian brings up what Hassan said. They're not bringing it up because they actually care about rapes occurring. They're bringing it up because they want to shit on Hassan. And I think that is disgusting. I think that is fucking disgusting. Like, you are actually despicable if you are going to sit there and use the possibility of, or even like the actual like rapes that could have happened, and using that as a tool to discredit somebody that you don't like. Like, you are a more harmful person at this point than Hassan is.
As I did, but at that moment I was responding to what I had seen for now months and years, which is to first of all spread misinformation about what happened on October 7th, and use these allegations that, and you just said it, mass sexual violence happened. There were allegations that sexual violence or rape had happened as a genocidal tool. It's being used and used over and over again in order to justify the genocide against Palestinians.
What do you say to people who get very confused by what is the UN stance on what happened on October the 7th, whether this was systematic, systemic, widespread sexual violence? Because you have this UN report from Pramila Patten, the special representative, which seems to back Israel's point of view. You have the UN Commission of Inquiry report, which seems to go against Israel's point of view. You have a UN special rapporteur like yourself. Which UN are they supposed to believe? The ordinary people.
So look, I don't think we're really saying different things, because first of all, Mrs. Pamela Patten is not, her office is a political office. She is a staff of the United Nations. She is not an independent investigative mechanism like my mandate or the Commission of Inquiry. But Mrs. Patten, in her report, said that she found indications that rape and gang rape had happened, but she kept saying that this was not an investigation. She called for an investigation, an independent investigation to happen. She said over and over again that she couldn't attribute what had happened. They didn't have access to forensic evidence. They didn't speak to any survivors of that.
Also, I don't know if they'll actually like mention it, but, and I don't personally have all of the information on it, so if I say something that is incorrect, that is on me. From my understanding, the aftermath of October 7th, like the sort of securing of the scenes and the collecting of evidence, was very poorly managed, and the like any chance that they would have had to get actual evidence of mass rape or of rape occurring, it was basically like lost. Like I like, from what I understand, the recovery of the bodies, and like they were fairly quickly like laid to rest and that kind of thing, and it just, the entire thing was handled not great, and one could come to the conclusion that it was intentional on Israel's part to hinder any sort of actual investigation so that they could continue to push the narrative that, mass rapes did occur and thus they are justified to do a genocide. Which, again, when Hassan says that, when Hassan says that it doesn't matter if rapes happen, that's what he's saying. He's saying it doesn't matter if it happened. It doesn't justify a genocide, which is what Israel has basically been saying it does. And so, again, Jillian, you suck.
It didn't meet the threshold of beyond reasonable doubt, so she qualified a lot of her statements.
Why has the investigation been so difficult? Is it because the Israelis won't let UN investigators in? Why is it so hard years later to have a clear investigation, a clear picture of what happened? Liking this video? Then don't just watch, hit like, share and subscribe. And tap the bell so you never miss a video or
Yeah, so the Commission of Inquiry and myself, we have asked to carry out visits to Israel. I had written a letter actually to both Israel and Palestine. The Israelis have never given that go-ahead. I have tried my best to speak also to either survivors of October 7th or family members, or even get firsthand accounts or information. And until now, that has not happened. The only report I have ever received was from Physicians for Human Rights Israel, which was sort of putting together publicly available information.
They've walked some of that back as well.
Yes, and they walked back from that as well. So, we have certain methods of working. We have to look at firsthand information. We cannot rely on information submitted by the media. And Israel does not cooperate with independent investigations or mechanisms of the Human Rights Council. It has not done so with the Commission of Inquiry. It has not done so with the Special Rapporteur for the OPT. And it has not done so with my mandate and other mandates.
The UN Commission of Inquiry has also documented evidence of systemic sexual and gender-based violence and abuse of Palestinian detainees by Israeli soldiers, both male and female. How has the emphasis on the mass rape narrative on October the 7th been used? You mentioned it's used to justify a genocide. Do you think it's been used to undermine the evidence of sexual violence committed by Israelis against Palestinians? Has it been used to deflect from those allegations and that evidence?
So I was one of the first rapporteurs who actually spoke very publicly at the time about reports received that sexual violence and rape had happened. It was in early 2024. I referred to two females, Palestinian females, that there was very credible evidence that they had been raped. I was even then quite disappointed and shocked that, first of all, the allegations were not taken seriously and there was really no reaction.
But Jillian won't say anything about this. She won't have shit to say about this. Because she has to protect Israel at every turn. She's got to defend Israel till her dying breath. So she can't acknowledge that Israel is doing some fuck shit. Shame. What a shame. What a shame.
Including at international level or by countries that profess to have, a feminist foreign policy or that care about addressing violence in conflict. And until now, really, this issue has not received the attention nor the recognition it deserves, even after so many others, not just mandates or special procedures, but also, independent human rights organizations have come out and said the same thing. And it shows that we are using really different standards with regards to violence against Palestinians on one hand and violence against Israelis.
Yeah, in the case of the Palestinians, we actually have named living victims and witnesses who are willing to testify on the record. You and many others in the UN Human Rights Council have warned that the disrespect for international humanitarian law that we've seen in Gaza would not stay in Gaza.
I do just want that to set in, okay? On October 7th, they have no victims who have come forward to testify. They have no evidence. They have nothing to really back up the claim that mass rapes happen. But on the flip side, they have many Palestinians who are willing to come forward and testify against the IDF, against Israelis for their sexual assault. And people have nothing to say about that. All right. Nope, that's cool. All right. That's it. We'll just we'll go back to Jillian now. I just wanted to let y'all see that, and it is funny that, you know, Jillian had just waited a few days to upload that video. Maybe she'd maybe we'd be having a different conversation. She still would have uploaded it. All right, Jillian, get back to telling me about how Nick Fuentes is better than Hassan Piker.
He's a smart kid. He's articulate.
She just called Nick Fuentes a smart kid. And Hassan isn't, I guess. Hassan's not a smart, articulate person. Alright. Alright, dude. But Nick Fuentes is.
And he is intelligent. But he spews a lot of baloney. And I'll give you an example. Like, he was talking about how he worshipped Stalin because of the fact that he was successfully able.
Okay, no, she was calling Hassan smart. Okay, she's saying Hassan is smart and articulate. She can give him his flowers there. All right, Jillian, good for you.
Able to industrialize the USSR. And he was claiming that there was no other way to do it than slave labor and the gulags and all of this. And that's absolutely not the case. It has been done repeatedly throughout history in other ways. I think it's the Meiji dynasty in Japan actually is a perfect example of this. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole, but I promise you, if you do a little bit of homework, you'll realize he's lying. He's full of it. But when you don't push back on him and he glorifies Stalin, you're normalizing this kind of insanity. And I was critical of the fact that the right didn't do enough to separate themselves from that kind of radicalism. On the left.
Okay, wait, no, I do think she was talking about Nick Fuentes. Hold on. I do think she's talking about Nick Fuentes. Did Nick Fuentes say that? That's kind of funny. She mentioned Stalin, so not that Hassan like praises Stalin, but I assumed she was talking about Hassan, but I think she was talking about Nick Fuentes.
Absurd arguments, because Nick Fuentes is, listen, he's a smart kid.
No, she is talking about Nick Fuentes. All right, I take it back. She is talking about Nick Fuentes. That's so funny. Nick Fuentes is out here arguing for gulags, man. I gotta catch up on my Nick Fuentes lore. I'm out of step. What the fuck? Okay. Nick Fuentes is arguing for gulags, apparently. And I guess he fucks with Stalin now. So she agrees Nick Fuentes is full of shit, but he's still not as bad as Hassan.
You now have a guy that has begun to make, as I mentioned, Nick Fuentes look like an altar boy. And not only are they not tiptoeing around, they're platforming him, they are fully embracing him. The left did deep.
Why do you care? Like, you're not on the left. You actively hate the left. You actively want to distance yourself from the left, Jillian. Why do you care if the left embraces Hassan Piker? What is the point? Like, what do you give a fuck for? Like, what is it? You good? You Gucci?
Platform Fuentes. They debanked him. They put him on a no-fly list. They kicked him off of every social media platform. They pulled him off of Spotify. Every single platform they pulled him off of. I'm not advocating for that. I want to be clear. What I'm trying to show is they went after this guy with absolute fury. They tried to pound him into oblivion, okay? Hassan Piker is speaking at Yale. He is on the campaign trail with Democratic candidates. He was just with Ilhan Omar recently. I just wrote about this in the Daily Mail. He's a giant megaphone for...
Yeah, and what do you think of Ilhan Omar? I'm willing to bet you think Ilhan Omar is a raging anti-Semite, Jillian. So what the fuck? Why, like, why should I care what you have to say about her hanging out with Hassan Piker? Do you see how this doesn't add up? Do you see how this doesn't make sense? Like, I don't sit around. Look, I will call out how shitty people on the right are, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I can't believe the right is embracing this figure. Like, no, that's very par for the course. It's normal. I'm not surprised that the right embraces Dick Fuentes. Like, yeah, that's your boy. Holy fuck.
Mamdani. Fletch, didn't you tell me he was just with that guy?
And what do you think of Mamdani? I know you think Mamdani is a raging anti-Semite. I know you think Mamdani is a dangerous Islamist. It's so stupid.
We exposed in Michigan, the senator, Al-Said, the one who loves the Ayatollah.
Vote for Abdul Al-Sayed, Michigan, my Michigan homies. Michigan, rise up. Michigan. Let's go. We're at the table, boys.
That's hyperbole, but yep.
Abdul.
Yeah.
That's hyperbole. Did you catch that? Hold on.
The one who loves the Ayatollah, that's hyperbole.
Wait a minute. You can't do that. You can't. Wait a damn minute, Jillian. Wait a damn minute. You can't just be like, either you're gonna stand on business and be like, he loves the Ayatollah, and don't bother adding the it's hyperbole part. Like, either assume that I am going to get that it's hyperbole, or don't say that shit. What are you doing? That's hyperbole. Okay, well, now I want to know what he actually said. Now I want to know what he actually said. Like, how much of it is hyperbole? Like, how far from the actual quote are we going, Jillian? Like, I mean, I don't have a problem with people being hyperbolic, but come on. When you're trying to actually talk about what somebody has done and you're like taking issue, you're talking about having exposed him, I think it's important to maybe hone in on what you actually exposed him for, instead of being like, oh, we exposed him for loving the Ayatollah. Well, not really, but, close enough.
But, yep.
Abdul
Yeah.
Al-Sayed,
This is
the senator rushing for Michigan.
They can't even say this man's name.
The guy that said that he didn't want to comment on the death of the Ayatollah because his constituents were sad about it. Yeah, this is who Hassan Piker is.
Yeah, his constituents. Because he's from fucking Dearborn. I'm not like sitting here being like you should make assumptions about people living in Dearborn and how they feel about the Ayatollah, but like, I don't even know if that's exactly what he said. Like, I'm familiar with what she is referring to, but I haven't actually listened to the whole clip because I don't care. I don't think it really matters. Like, I don't think it's a problem if you. I don't really care about your opinions on the Ayatollah. like, I don't know. It doesn't affect me. So it's like I don't know exactly what he said, but like. This is okay. All right. Sure, man. No, like it yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of layers here that Jillian is not getting into because she's not going to look at the complex sort of relationship of Iran and like people in the Middle East and like how they may feel about the Ayatollah, even though like in spite of like what or like how they may feel about Iran, like in spite of like its leadership perhaps, or like who, like it's just like you're focusing on shit that doesn't matter, dog.
Hand in glove with. So, to be honest, I think the hypocrisy of the left is glaring. And I was going out saying to people on the right, I'm like, you guys better, this is terrible. Like, this is going to cost the midterms. This is going to make moderates recoil. Like, you have to say, like, this isn't what the party stands for. And now the left is like, oh, Hassan. Finally, we've learned how to appeal to young men. Like an absolute monster. This is our guy. Okay. All right. And there are some people on the right that are like, let him do it. This is great. This will hurt them more. But again, I'm going to say, I don't care what side of the aisle you are on. When you normalize these kind of hateful, misogynist, anti-Semitic, racist, anti-American, I want to call him a name, but I won't, men, that is a really dangerous validation for our young people. It is. I was worried about Fuentes. Man, wow. Fuentes loses in a cage match to this savage every single day of the week. Every day of the week. And I actually think
the savage. Okay, Jillian. Okay.
That the party now who steps up and goes, that's a repulsive message. We don't deplatform these people because this is America, but we don't stand for that, is once again going to be the party of common sense. And once again, the party.
Okay, look, bro, Jillian, I think you need to understand. You need to take Hassan. You need to take Hassan and be happy with what you get, because otherwise you're gonna get motherfuckers who are even more radical than Hassan. And while I'm okay with that, I know you aren't. So I think you might want to pick your battles here before you come up against a bigger boogeyman than Hassan. And I think that's the real sort of takeaway from all of this that people are kind of not thinking about. Because if Hassan disappears tomorrow, someone steps up to take his place. Like, that's it. And it could be someone who's even more radical than Hassan. Who fucking knows? It could be someone who cares even less about, communicating with people across the aisle and trying to sort of make things a little bit more palatable to them. It could be someone who doesn't give a fuck about any of that and just says, fuck it, fuck all of you, writes you all off, and just really takes it in a whole other direction. And again, I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't really care. I think it would be not the worst thing, but I know that you don't fuck with that. So maybe just pick your battles here. I think we're missing the real truth in all of this is that Hassan is light work. What if someday you have to go up against Bad Empanada?
That takes away the purple people in the.
And then they post like this picture. Like, look at this shit. It's just like like he's got his fucking like bracelets on. Like, oh, look at this scary savage. I'm so scared.
Midterms this year. All right, guys, if you like this clip and
She has some other ones. Let me see if there were some other ones that I wanted to look at real quick. Oh my god. We could look at the Abdul El Sayed one, but I did want to see the other Hassan clip.
I listen.
So this one is with Steven Crowder, which is awesome. Why the fuck not?
I don't like Nick Fuentes. I go on the record, and we don't have to debate it.
And you always gotta start with Nick Fuentes. We gotta bring him into this conversation. We gotta make sure people understand that Hassan is worse than Nick Fuentes.
I get it. Just totally. Having said that, though, okay, this kid was debanked. I don't agree with that.
Right.
He was deplatformed. I don't agree with that. He was put on a no-fly list. I don't agree with that. Having said that, you know, my wish for people would be to say, listen, like these things he says, that doesn't represent the values of the party. Like that thing that he said was not okay. Like we're not on board with this comment or that comment. Okay. Whatever. That'd be my dream. Not the debanking, the deplatforming, the no-fly zone. Hassan Piker is so vitriolic, so aggressive, calling for assassinations.
Sure.
And the left not only has not debanked, deplatformed, they are campaigning alongside of him. They are...
Maybe that should tell you something. Like maybe... some of the things that people say against him, most of the things, all of the things maybe that people say against him are pretty trumped up. Like, I think that is perhaps the worst part about all of this is that if you actually have a valid, genuine criticism of Hassan Piker, it's not going to break through. You're not going to get through the noise because there's so much fucking bullshit that at this point, people are pretty resistant to any actual criticism of Hassan. Like, I don't personally have any huge criticisms of us. I don't personally have any huge criticisms of Hassan. I maybe have a couple, but they're pretty small. But if you actually wanted to genuinely offer a constructive criticism or something of that sort, you couldn't do it. And that's really because this whole thing has been completely taken over by bad faith actors who want to create the worst faith interpretations of what Hassan has said and done. And I think it's funny that Jillian's just like, why don't these people hate Hassan as opposed to maybe some of this shit is just not true.
Inviting him to speak at Yale.
Right.
They are putting him on CNN. I mean, they have canonized, basically, Hassan Piker. So I just want to understand how they don't appreciate the obscene hypocrisy of that, and how are they embracing?
Well, can you forgive me? Can you clarify when you say who do you mean embrace? Do you mean those on the right saying there's no difference? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm sorry.
She's so bothered by it too. Like, do you see this? Like, she's like, look at her. Hold on.
Sorry,
she's like,
well,
like, Jillian, is it that serious? Like, imagine being this bothered over a guy you've never met. a guy who doesn't even know who you are. Like, imagine being this bothered by a guy who probably doesn't even know who you are. Oh, man.
Can you forgive me? Can you clarify when you say who do you mean embrace? Do you mean those on the right saying there's no difference? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm sorry. I'm saying the left that ruined Nick Fuentes' life, right? And I was kind of saying, they're going to turn around and they're going to weaponize the Nick Fuentes conversation against the right in the midterms and in 2028. And they're going to say, look, you didn't condemn these messages of A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, whatever. But now the left is embracing Hassan.
Also, I love how she thinks that. I love how she thought I love how she thought that the right embracing Nick Fuentes was going to be weaponized against them in the elections. I love how she thinks that would have been relevant. In what universe was that going to be relevant to an election? What? She said this in the last clip too, where she was kind of like, we're gonna lose the midterms because we embraced Nick Fuentes. Like, the right has embraced countless of awful figures throughout the years, and I don't really think it's been used against them in the elections in, like, any significant way. Just like I don't think that people campaigning with Hassan is going to be used against them in any significant way. Because the average person doesn't care about content creators. Jillian, do you think the internet is real life? Like, I'm an advocate for the internet is not completely separate from real life. People don't just stop existing when they log off. But there is a little bit of a disconnect there. There is a little bit of a, you know, of the wires do get a little crossed sometimes and things get a little mixed up.
On Piker.
Yeah.
And he's 10 times more aggressive,
sure,
and vitriolic and violent and hateful
yes.
than Nick Fuentes in his worst streaming moment.
Yes, and my primary grievance with Nick Fuentes is my same grievance with...
Like, it's really just that Hassan doesn't... It's really just that Nick Fuentes doesn't cuss, I guess, and scream and swear as much as Hassan does. Which, okay, he still says awful shit. Like, what do you mean? Jillian, you've called Hassan Piker a misogynist multiple times over, but he didn't do the whole your body, my choice thing. So, I don't know. I think if you ask the average young woman, the average young woman who is maybe familiar with both people, both figures, who they prefer, if they had to pick one, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, the only reason I might pick Nick Fuentes is because Nick Fuentes is smaller and I would maybe have an easier time defending myself. But, like, if we're going based on trust alone, Nick Fuentes has said things that would directly concern me in regards to being alone with him in a confined space for a period of time. Like, I just, you know, just saying.
Dave Smith, who's been on the show. And I will say this, they have said, you know, they declared this intervention a failure, the war in Iran a failure, and they told people to vote Democrat. And then Democrat, like you said, that brings us back to Hassan Piker, Mamdani. Let's be really clear about what no difference means and you can tell me if you disagree with any of these premises, because I'm kind of going shorthand. Voting Democrat in 2026 means packing the courts, means abolishing the Electoral College, means lowering the voting age to 16 if they have their way. Again, if they have their power unfettered, means...
God. Oh, don't stop. Keep going. Bro, I wish. I fucking wish. I fucking wish they would do that shit, bro. Are you kidding me? I wish the Democrats were half as fucking proactive and dangerous as the right thinks they are, bro. Like, I wish. I fucking wish.
Censoring speech and deplatforming. It means disarming Americans. It means codifying Roe v. Wade. It means opening borders again. It means...
Like, yo, like, you know, like, I don't think they're actually gonna, you know, stomp on speech or anything like that. But all the other shit, give it to me. Like, hand it to me, dog. Like, I'm here for it. Let's go.
Mass amnesty. It means more social security.
Like, what do you mean? You're saying mass amnesty is a bad thing, bro? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, there's no other choice. Like, there's no other option here if we want a functioning fucking country. It means more Social Security. Oh no.
Security, and of course, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever you can provide for
Oh no.
illegal aliens. It means making D.C. and Puerto Rico a state. It means codifying that biological.
It means making DC and Puerto Rico a state. Listen, I don't know about DC because at least DC motherfuckers can vote. Like Puerto Ricans are completely disenfranchised. Like they pay taxes, but they can't vote. Literal taxation without representation. Like, yeah, I mean, they should be a state. Like at the very least, they should be able to fucking vote. Like, what are we doing?
Men can compete in women's sports and be in women's spaces, and effectively codifying that there are no biological gender differences. That's what voting Democrat means.
Let's go. Let's go. Like, I wish Steven Crowder.
It's always a compromise to vote Republican because you do have some wieners, but it doesn't mean all that. And when you talk about Hassan Piker, you know, the crazy thing is, I don't know if you know, I've been to Cuba twice, and I'm one of the few people who's been to both Havana and Guantanamo Bay. I was in Havana for a Rising Crust pizza commercial as a teenager. I went under a Canadian passport, and it was just, you know, the budgeting where they were like, we have some budget at the end of the year. Let's go to Cuba. It was an interior shot. They didn't even need to go to Cuba. And then I was in Guantanamo Bay doing some shows entertaining the troops. And one of their biggest threats in Guantanamo Bay is they actually have to protect against Cubans trying to get into the prisons because of how bad it is. These people go on this liberal virtue signaling tourism. I mean, most people in Cuba, my woman, by the way, and I say this, I've been told it's sexist, my woman who's Latina, she's part Brazilian, but
sexist?
Cuban.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, it's sexist to say my woman.
I don't think it is. I think you're good. Especially with my...
I'm good with her because you know what happens when she hears my woman? She prepares to conceive. It turns her on. So I'm going to keep going with that because she likes a little possessiveness. But,
I like it. Okay.
Her adoptive mom is Cuban and a doctor and had to come here and go through all of this. And she, by the way, isn't really political, but she knows that the average salary, I think, in Cuba is, I want to say $2,000 a year or something like that. She knows how awful the abject poverty is there. She was a doctor and she would have to save up all month to buy a bar of soap.
Fucking, that comment was so fucking gross that it bricked my computer. My fucking laptop just cut off and it switched to like the one monitor. Hold on. Hey, yo. I was gonna say that was like a fucking kind of gross comment to make about your woman. But shit was so gross. It grossed my computer out. Jesus Christ. How do I fix this? I imagine we'll go to the display. That's so weird. I don't know why it did that. Shit. Hold on. That's weird. Okay. What the fuck? Ugh. Hold on. Hold the phone. I gotta do some troubleshooting here. She's just okay. We're back. Fixed it.
These people wear a Che Guevara t-shirt. People like Hassan Piker. Che Guevara was just as racist, just as much of a eugenicist as Adolf Hitler, and if he had the ability, would have killed just as many people because he bragged.
Okay, I know what's happening. I have an item in my hand. It's a fucking it's a toenail clipper, actually. I mean, it's a hangnail clipper. I guess there's a magnet in it because I keep setting it on my computer, on my laptop, and there's a specific spot on my laptop where if I set a magnet, it completely shuts the computer off. I've done this before in the past multiple times, and it took me a long time to figure out why it was happening, but that's what's happening. Okay, let me not put that there. Got it. Cool. Shouldn't happen again.
About it in front of international council, said kill, execute without trial. We will continue to do so, and referred to the Negro as indolent and a pestilence. And he didn't say Negro all the time, just to be clear. And I'm going, hold on a second. You put him on a t-shirt.
What the fuck? Oh, he's pulling the is he pulling the Che Guevara is racist shit? Is that what we're doing? I love how they never come up with new shit. You know? Like, it's always the old nachos.
And he killed, by the way, executed some black people. People go, yeah, but you know, he just said that, but that was a different.
Like Steven Crowder, I'm supposed to believe you give a fuck about black people being executed. All right, man. Sure, man. I'm sure you're a genuine source. You're a genuine person who is really, really concerned about the possible racism of Che Guevara. Yep, you really give a fuck about that. That's something that really bothers you to your core. I bet you lose sleep over it, man. You are truly the ally we need, sir. You are invited to the cookout. Congratulations.
Time. Yeah, but he killed black people for that because they were indolent Negroes. That's what he said. Why do you give him a pass on that? The revolution of Cuba is that of racism, is that of actual genocide. They wanted pure there's a term in French Canadian too, pure laine, pure wool, pure Spanish, European blood. They didn't like black people there. They'll use them where convenient. But this is what Cuba is, and people go there and go, actually, it's great, and it's the fault of the United States. I ruined New Year's last year. I was at a hotel with my woman, and the lady serving us drinks. We went down for brunch. Something was happening with Cuba, and she said, it's horrible what the United States has done to them. And my woman said she saw that look in my eye where she's like, well, there goes the morning. And I just said, what was that? What we've done? I was like, oh, don't they have the two biggest trading partners on earth? But if communism worked, by the way, it's the perfect climate. Everything grows there, not to mention your women are beautiful. Everything. It's like God saying, here's a gift. They have China, Russia, and they can't make it work. It's our fault. We're just not trading with them. If communism could possibly work, Marxism, socialism, you couldn't have a better example than Cuba. So what they do is they try and direct you to something new. And like a dog pissing on the carpet.
Yeah, it's not like we've had an embargo on them for decades or whatever. Just fucking ignore that. Just It's not important. It's not important.
Their face needs to be buried in it because this is not new. People need to realize Stalin, Mao, Che, Fidel, Chavez, Maduro, all of them, who now the left says, no, not that example, were praised by the most prominent leftists of the time. I can walk you through them, whether it's Oliver Stone, whether it's Bob Dylan's crazy bitch, that Susan Rotolo, the first one, Jane Fonda, saying Fidel Castro was actually great. Now they move the goalposts, and they go, no, we don't mean that kind of communism. You guys went there and supported the government silencing dissidents. All of them. Anita Dunn, who was an advisor to Barack Obama, said, when I look to inspiration, I look to Mao. Let's round down. 40 million people killed under Mao's Great Leap Forward. Stalin, right? So now they move it and go.
They never want to talk about how many people capitalism has killed, man. They never want to talk about that. And it makes me really sad. 'Cause, like, if communism has killed, however many million people you want to say it's killed, then capitalism has killed 10 times that, at least. It's a joke. You're a joke.
No, we mean these Scandinavian countries, and they all.
You're a joke. Look at all your fucking Rumble shit. Your Rumble logo, your goddamn Rumble mug. Like, you're a fucking joke, man.
Always will, because Marxists, it's progress for the sake of progress, and that will always lead to degeneracy. And I think you see the flip side of that in the right, where there's no moral rooting. There's a contrarian streak. I have a general problem with authority. I get that. People have a problem with authority, and they were contrarian because, it was so mainstream to be left for a long time. You saw that with Gen Z males. Now they need to be contrarian for the sake of being contrarian, and they go, well, we're in the majority, so betrayer, and it's all the same. If the left has their way unfettered, you would have Mao. You would have Stalin. You would have Fidel. How do I know? Chavez, Maduro. Because they went there and they broadcast these leftists saying, these are great people. Breadlines are a good thing. This isn't a conspiracy.
All right, guys, if you like this clip and you want to watch the full episode, click here. And if you want more content like...
And then also, I love how she put Hassan in the thumbnail for the actual video. Steven Crowder goes nuclear, gloves are off, and then they've got, like, Hassan in the background here. That's incredible. So, that was Jillian, and she, she's doing that shit. And that was that. But then Jillian turns around and there's another video that she uploaded. And this one was particularly, a bit of a funny one because Jillian's really struggling. She's really struggling because I guess her audience wants her to branch out. So here we have another video from Jillian. This one's only 3 minutes long, but it's important.
All right. I'm going to have a little mini meltdown right now. I want you guys to know that I read as many of your comments as I can. That's not what I'm having a meltdown about. I absolutely love it. I'm so grateful every time you leave me a comment. I'm disappointed in the fact that I cannot deliver a lot of you what you're asking me for. I read the comments. I do see you ask me for moderate guests and more liberal guests. You want a more balanced perspective. I want to give you a more balanced perspective. They don't show up. They don't show up. I asked Wajahat Ali, come on the show. Talk to me about Islam. Tell me where we're getting it wrong. Tell me why this is Islamophobia. Stopped answering me, didn't show up. I've asked all the pro-vaxxers.
Like, don't you think it's a little fucking insane to message somebody and be like, tell me about your religion. Tell me where we're getting it wrong. Like, maybe there's a reason these people don't want to come on your show, Jillian. Maybe there's a reason only extreme right-wing figures will give you the time of day.
Dr. Neil Stone, come, have a conversation. Come, let's debate this with the doctors that disagree with you. Here's a platform. No, I don't want to do it. I have asked people who are, this is my favorite. This is the one that I just got today, which is why I'm so annoyed. We reached out to Planned Parenthood and said, would you be willing to have a conversation with somebody who's pro-choice? Let's show the country that we can come together and have conversations and try to find common ground. We will not be participating. And then my team said, is it the host? Is it the subject matter? And they don't answer. How am I supposed to feature the other side of the argument if the liberals and the leftists will not show up? And that pisses me off even more is because you guys sit on your side of the line and you fire pot shots at people, but then when you're invited to show up, you don't show up. Oh, you're all racist. Okay. Hey, Leslie Jones, you're going to call me a racist. Come, show up. Call me a racist to my face. I want to hear what you have to say. Nothing. No response. Abby Phillip, you sit there and you lie your ass off about me and the things that I said. Come, show up. Let's talk it through. Let's discuss what really happened. Let's discuss where that conversation should go. No response. It's all the same. All of the leftists won't show up. And I'll give you one more. There is a leftist or a Democrat who's going to be running for president. I'm not going to call him out by name because there's still a fraction of a hope that this guy would actually show up for a podcast. And I watched him discuss how crazy the left has gone. And it's like, oh my God, this would be the best thing for your party. You could.
Gavin Newsom. I think it's Gavin Newsom. I think it's Gavin Newsom. He's the only one I can think of at the moment who said something like that. But crazy crash out, loving it.
Win over people who are moderate, who are purple. You don't have to constantly pander to the crazies on the fringe. So my team reached out and said, hey, Jillian Michaels would love to talk to you. She really appreciated what you said on this one podcast. Oh, I don't want to mess up my primary chances. You want to mess up your primary chances by appealing to people who have different opinions?
Jillian, you've had some interesting comments about slavery that have probably not really gone down so well with the general public and are pretty easy to pull up and be like, hey, look at what this bitch said about slavery. Like, when talking about the topic of chattel slavery, she goes off into a tangent and is like, white people aren't the only people who engaged in slavery, and black people were selling black people and blah, 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 blah. And it's like all the shit that white supremacists get into when they don't actually want to talk about chattel slavery and the repercussions of it and recognizing it and recognizing, like she has a real problem with like discussing history and the white guilt. She's got this real white guilt issue where it's like she feels like people are trying to make her feel guilty for her white ancestors past, and it's like people just want you to recognize history and reality, dude. Like it's not like no one's asking you to like go and personally atone for the crimes of your ancestors, Jillian. I don't know what the fuck your ancestors did. That's not my business. I don't give a fuck. I just want you to recognize what happened, what occurred, and treat it with the seriousness that is and treat it with the seriousness that is required.
Than you, but you want to be their president? I just don't, at this point, I don't know what else to say. So I'm going to throw down the gauntlet, okay? So there can be no excuses. We started an email. It's Jillian Michaels, KIR.
Guys, should I email her? Jillian, I have 200 subscribers. Let me come on your podcast. You want to talk to a leftist? She didn't say they had to be like a big leftist. Dude, is there like a rule for like how big your platform has to be? Because I'm willing to talk, Jillian. I'm willing to talk.
Pod. My name, Jillian Michaels, the letters KIR.
Also, it's crazy. She's gonna get so many emails from just the randomest people. I can't believe she thought this was a good idea. Like, they're gonna get so many just trash emails, bro. Like, people are gonna sign them up for like different subscriptions and stuff. Like, this is not gonna work out the way you think it is. People are gonna be trolling your ass, Jillian. Come on.
pod@gmail.com. So for the love of God, anybody who is brave enough, throw your hat in the ring. I mean, all of the people on the far right. Andrew Wilson looked me in the eye and told me my lifestyle was evil and he thinks I'm going to hell. And we still had a lovely conversation. I never attack guests. I don't play gotcha.
Jillian, that says more about you. That says more about you. That says more about you, though. Do you understand that says more about you as a person? Because I wouldn't tolerate that shit. I'm sorry. I wouldn't tolerate that shit. You're gonna look me in my fucking face on my own goddamn show at that and tell me that I'm going to hell and that you don't agree with my quote unquote lifestyle. Like, she is referencing the fact that she is a lesbian. Like, that is what Andrew Wilson does not agree with, does not support, is that Jillian Michaels is a lesbian. She has a black daughter. He probably also doesn't fuck with that. Take your pick. But like, I personally would not settle for somebody insulting my family like that, insulting my life like that. I wouldn't take that shit standing down. Like, I wouldn't take that shit sitting down, you know? Like, I'd have something to say. Like, we would not be having a fairly civil conversation after that. You know, there's a point where civility becomes a bit of a joke. There's a point where you're either letting someone just sort of take the piss and not saying anything, not sticking up for yourself, not sticking up for your loved ones, your family. There's a point where you're kind of a loser, and it says a lot more about you.
I'm trying to expose people to differing opinions, but I can't do it if you're too chicken shit to show up. Jillian Michaels, KIR pod@gmail.com. I double dog dare you.
Okay, well, Jillian, I would like to come on your show. Have me on, Jillian. But it doesn't end there. It does not end there. So she did that, and someone did answer the call. Someone has decided to to take Jillian up on her offer. And in my opinion, she's not the best person for the job. I mean, she is. Like, she's the best person to get into the mud with Jillian. But as far as it comes down to who I would pick for a, representative of the left, not this person. But, shocker, Jillian's old friend, her old rival, Anna Kasparian, has volunteered as tribute. I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think Jillian has the stones. I don't think Jillian has the balls I don't think Jillian can go face to face with Anna at this point. I think she's too afraid. She's too locked out. She's too tapped out. She's just not going to do it. Then you have people, sharing the clip where she stormed off of her take. That was iconic, truly one of the best moments ever on her take. One of the only moments on her take. Truly, the only two moments on her take, when Jillian stormed off and when Adam Sosnick threw a tampon at Anna Kasparian. Okay. Are we just making art of Anna as a queen now? Yeah, I mean, Kyle would be an interesting one. We could get Kyle Kalinske in there. That'd be an interesting one. People are making memes, bro. I don't know. Ooh. I don't know. We could see. She won't do it. She still owes you an apology. Says Amy Dangerfield. Oh my god. Wait. Oh my god. Amy publicly taking a side in the Anna and Jillian feud. Oh my god. Whoa. That's crazy. If you don't know, Amy Dangerfield was one of the other women on her take. I wonder where Lindy Lee stands. She's not gonna chime in. She's too much of a coward. But Amy, I'm gonna like it. So true, Amy. So true. Oh, that's incredible. Amy's one of my favorite Amy's one of my favorite characters to emerge from the her take era, I think. She is something. She is something. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think Jillian's gonna do it. Unfortunately. I don't think Jillian's gonna do it, but maybe it'll happen. I would like to see it. I personally would like to see it because I think that it would just be Jillian kind of getting upset and Anna basically doing what Anna does. And even though Anna is not the best on some topics these days, she does still come in strong when it comes to Israel and Palestine. So I do think that they would have a very interesting conversation on that topic. Maybe Jillian would actually do some research beforehand so she could actually defend her position. I doubt it, but who knows? Maybe. Aside from that, I don't know what to say. I think it would be great. I'd love to see it. Maybe we can get Amy to referee. We can have a whole reunion. We'll call Lindy Lee. It can be a her take reunion. We can have them go in teams. We'll have them go in teams. It'll be Anna and Amy versus Jillian and Lindy. And they'll face off in a battle of the wits. In the marketplace of ideas. I'm here for it. I'm a fan. Yeah. I think we should do this. Yeah. All right. Well, here's hoping that happens. I'll be there front and center, ready to go. Yep. All right. I am going to wrap the stream up here because it has gotten a little bit late and I do need to go. I do appreciate you watching. If you're checking this out later, be sure to hit that subscribe button and all that lovely stuff. I would very much appreciate it. Hit that like button. And I will be back Sunday for another stream. I am working on some other stuff, but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much. I'll be back. I will be back Sunday. We will do other shit, talk about some other things happening in the world. Until then, please do take care of yourself. Please do, don't do anything crazy. Don't get into any trouble, but have fun, have a good time. Be gay and do crimes as well, but don't get caught. All right. I'll catch you all later. Peace and love, all that lovely stuff, and goodbye.